Hi folks, and welcome to our English class, EnglV01B, Critical Thinking Through Literature. My name is Jacqueline Walker, and I am your guide through this adventure. I wanted to make a welcome video to say hi and to tell you how happy I am that we get to work together this summer for 6 weeks, and also to remind you of how amazing you are and that this entire class is built around stories, and that stories make up our lives, and in a strong sense, you're already a master of the material. It's just a matter of practice, which is what the course is for. I just wanted to navigate a few spaces and things with you guys as we start our journey and go over some important areas of class to ease some tension or stress, lessen some anxiety if you have any coming into a 6-week intense English course. And so let's get started. So if you haven't used Canvas yet, there's a couple ways to navigate. The way that our course is set up, you can navigate through the sidebar here, and you can also navigate through the buttons on our homepage, which are broken down into weeks. You guys know that this is a 6-week course. We have 4 units. Our first unit is short story, and so in our first unit, we have 2 weeks to marinate in just a handful of short stories, getting a beautiful lesson and ideas from each one, and hopefully you'll find an entryway into those stories and a personal connection on a deeper level that will make it more enjoyable and meaningful for you. Our second unit is poetry, number 2, and in that unit we'll go over a handful of poems. You can listen to the poets read their poems for the ones that I found on YouTube, and just enjoy the sound and the melody of the poems like a song. Some people are intimidated by poetry because for some reason in our culture we've made it to be this really big mystical thing, but the reality is we all love music, and that's what poetry is. It's just written down and recorded in a different way than an actual song, and so that's our way in. Our third unit is going over a play called Fences. That's our drama unit. It's a play by playwright August Wilson, who was an amazing playwright and wrote an entire series of plays. Fences is one of them. It's a story that connects deeply to what is happening in our culture today with regards to social issues and family issues. It's kind of a universal play for any generation to enjoy. And then our last unit is 2 weeks, and it's The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus, a beautiful French writer who delves into the universe of the absurd and talks about many things along the way, including the myth of Sisyphus himself. So that's our class in a nutshell. In terms of the books that we're using, everything is available for free online digitally, and so I just want to share that with you. If you're the kind of student who likes to have a physical copy of your book, then I highly suggest that you get the books from Amazon or from the bookstore. They're pretty cheap. Both of them are going to be under $15 each. And so if you like to write in your book and you want to have that experience, I would recommend doing that. I'm just going to show you where many of your questions for this course can be answered, and a few places that you can go to get your questions answered. One of them is Got a Question. You can ask your question here, but because this is a critical thinking course, I really want to encourage you to develop your critical thinking muscle, that muscle inside of you that is curious about the world and has millions of questions, many of which you go to Google for, or you ask a friend, or you figure out on your own. But we're cultivating that critical thinking muscle, and that is the muscle that asks questions. So you can go to the course questions, our discussion, but before you do that, I'm going to encourage you to look for the answer, seek the answer first, and see what you find. See what information and ideas you find. The best place to go is our course syllabus. The course syllabus is really what's happening in the course and how it's structured, along with the textbooks, the materials that you'll need. So you can click on syllabus here on the side. If you go back to the home page, there's also an entire module where you can start and understand some of the logistics for navigating this English course on Canvas. Every Canvas course looks different, depending on how your instructor sets it up. So I really value spatial relationships and visuals, and so when I set my courses up, I have that in mind. And I also appreciate the fact that you can find things in more than one way. Like I mentioned, the sidebar or through modules. This Getting Started module is kind of like the nuts and bolts, and that includes my contact information and the syllabus itself. So again, there are many ways to the mountaintop, folks. Find the way that works for you. I'm just going to click on our course syllabus here and just show you what the texts are. Again, there's 2 of them, and they are actually free online. I have them linked in our course, the digital version. If you aren't planning on printing them out, then I would encourage you to buy the books if you're interested in having that physical, tangible, kinesthetic experience. I know I like to write in my books as well. So one of the things we're actually going to be learning is how to be a stronger reader. So one thing that we often have little practice in prior to college is how do we read? It's worth our time to stop and think, you know, what is your literacy experience? What has your literacy journey been like? What has your exposure to reading and writing been like throughout your life, whether that's K through 12 here in college, whether you are an adult student coming back or returning to college. But really the question that we'll ask in this first week is, what is your literacy experience specifically with stories? And so doing a little reflecting on that will help you understand why you feel the way that you feel towards yourself as a reader and a writer, and then also strengthening your confidence through writing practice and writing skills, and a conscious awareness of where you've been and what your goals are moving forward into the future. So mindfulness goes a long way. On our syllabus, you'll notice we've got what makes a good reader, and so it's something to think about, right? We are in an English class. I would argue that any class in college is a writing and a reading class because you're using those skills, that skill set. And so when you strengthen that skill set in this course, along with problem solving and predicting, you engage with a lot of different types of ways of thinking that will assist you on your college journey and really your learning journey throughout your life. I mentioned our 4 units. Here are the required texts. We have Fences, a play by August Wilson. Again, that's free online. It's linked in our course as well. And then we have the Myth of Sisyphus, which is actually, both of them are pretty thin. The Myth of Sisyphus is a really long philosophical work, and I've actually attached the full text itself and then an abridged version that's about 24 pages going over the philosophy of the absurd, talking a little bit about what that means, and then engaging in the actual myth of Sisyphus. So those are the required texts. You can get them at the bookstore or go onto Amazon and get a really good deal on them. And so I just wanted to point that out to you. So the way that our course is broken down grade-wise is there are discussions online that are worth quite a bit. We have our journaling that you'll be doing. So you'll have 2 journals. You'll have a digital journal, and then you'll also have a physical journal. So that's just a composition book. And the digital journal is the one that you'll turn in for points. The physical journal is the one where you can do your pre-writing and your brainstorming, your sketching, your scribbling out ideas, you're pulling little golden lines from the things that you've read, and really just allowing yourself to engage in your own writing practice that will strengthen your skill set and your confidence, and also deepen your connection to the material as you pull it from the sources and as you handwrite it in your journal. There's something really beautiful about that sacred ritual that you'll be performing while strengthening that writing practice for yourself as you move through your classes in college. We also have quizzes, which we have little cheat sheets for that help assist you with literary concepts and vocabulary that you've already heard of, like story, plot, theme, symbol. We're going to be using that language as we analyze the literature that we're encountering. And then we have essays, of course, and workshops online to give each other feedback. So that's the download for the class. Just wanted to kind of introduce it to you a little bit so you feel a little more comfortable. I am really excited to meet you. I look forward to learning a lot with you and really engaging in beautiful works of art. These works of literature that I've selected for us are fun and engaging and thought-provoking. I can't wait to meet you online. Bye!